Dragon channel. I'm going to test some finishes for rhinestone diamond paintings. I have in the past used coatings to seal the painting to try and stop the beads falling off as the glue dries out. And in the past, on the normal diamond paintings, I've used this, which is the Tombow Aqua Liquid Glue. I've also used this, which is Mod Podge Super Gloss, and I've also used another one which I don't actually have. I can't remember the name of it, but once the lid came off and it had been used a few times, the lid sort of sealed on and I couldn't get it open. So I bought as an alternative this, which I'm hoping will do a similar job. Now what I'm going to do is, this is a picture that I wasn't happy with when it arrived. I've completed it simply for the purposes of this exercise. I don't intend to keep this picture. I would have just thrown it away without completing it, but I thought it would be a good experiment to try to see which is the best sealant for these types of beads, because obviously they're very, I don't think it actually comes across as well in the video as it does to the naked eye, but as you know yourself, if you've ever done a special diamond painting, they're really shiny and sparkly. And whilst I want to protect the beads and keep them on the picture, obviously I don't want it to lose any of the sparkle. So what I'm going to do is, I've got 3 products, and I want to be able to compare it to the non-treated surface. So I'm going to divide this into 4. I'm going to leave one area untreated, and then in the other 3 areas I will apply these different sealers. Now I did buy a pack of these foam brush things, but I can only find one, so I'm going to have to, it's not too bad because this has got its own applicator. Actually somewhere I've got a Mod Podge brush. Let me see if I can find the Mod Podge brush, and then I'll have 3 things to, oh yeah, there it is, hold on, get the toolbox out. Right, okay, panic over. So I shall use, hopefully there won't be any difference based on type of applicator, but unfortunately there's not a lot I can do about that. This has its own applicator included, so I shall apply it with that. This I will apply with the brush that you can buy from Mod Podge, and this I will apply with the foam paintbrush applicator thing. So that's the plan. First of all, I'm going to section off this picture. I don't want to apply any tape or anything, so I'm just simply going to divide the canvas in half. So that's 9.5 inches, so half of 9.5 is 4 3/4, so that's there. And about there. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, does it? Is that right? Don't look. It'll do. So, not actually easy to do over beads. But we get the idea. I'll do it top and bottom because it's not really drawing over beads. And then the same on this side. We'll go 4 3/4. Three-quarters, and we'll draw a line across there. Let's do that, and then we'll try. How's that? Okay, so we've got some demarcation. Okay, so what should we do first? We'll do the glue, so let's write it on each area, then we know. So we'll have nothing there, and we'll have aqua here, and we'll have Mod Podge here, and then we'll have this Liquitex here. Liquitex. There. So that's the areas divided up. Which you can't see the words in the frame. Great. Let's try and there, that a little bit better. So they're the areas. We'll leave that one as it is. We'll do the Aqua Tombow glue on there, Mod Podge and Liquitex. So let's start with the Aqua. So with this, you kind of have to squeeze it slightly and it starts to pour out. Let's see if we can zoom in to show the application a little bit nearer. So I'm just literally just going to gently cover. I want to try and just do the borders first. Now I'm only going to do the beads, I'm not going to do the canvas in the background. It's a bit of a waste of the product really. It's not sealing anything in there. But I'm going to go all over, you know, I'm not just going to pick each individual bead. Too tedious. And there's a bit of a bead there, there's a bit of a stray. It's not come away from anything, it's a spillage. A couple of spillages. Right, you come up here, there's a bit much there. I don't think you really see what I'm doing, but you get the idea. I'm just going round and splodging it on. And then it'll have to be left to dry. And then we'll see what the effect is. And I'm hoping I'm not scraping up any beads as I go along. Can't really tell how covered it is. Can tell on the edges, but like in the middle, can't really tell if I've covered everything properly, so I'm just going to go up and down, squeezing gently on the tube. And I'm going to call that covered. Yeah, just spread it out a bit without squeezing. Go across the ways. Right, I think that's got all the beads covered. So that's the tombow. Okay. So that's the top section done, because we're not doing anything on this side. We've got the aqua glue on that side. So now I'm just going to spin it round for ease of application. And we're going to do this corner now, which is Mod Podge. I could probably do with, I don't know, will this fit in the top? Here, let's have a look. Right, this... I haven't taken the foil off completely in a attempt to try and stop it drying out, so I'm just gonna blob it on the brush. Don't know if this is the best way of doing it, but it's the way I'm doing it. And blob it on here and spread it around. I'm in the right area, aren't I, Mod Podge? Right, so let's go up to the edges first. I know it has this sort of opaque look to it, but it does dry clear. And I never know how much to put on. I'm just going to blob a little bit more, because where I put it on first, it's going to have more. So I'll blob a bit more on my brush and pull down from the other end. Do a little bit more. Oh, that's maybe too much. Go back in, go back in. Go back in. Okay. I think I saved it. Right, let's try from this direction with this. So it's giving it like a bluish, to me it looks like a bit of a bluish lilac cover to it. Anyway, that's Mod Podge done. Let me just wipe brown the rim so that it doesn't end up getting stuck when the lid goes back on. Don't want to waste this like we've wasted that other one that I had. Right, put the lid on and just wipe the brush off a little bit. Obviously I'll have to wash the brush, but for now just want to wipe it. Okay. Right, and then finally this corner, turn it round again. This corner is this Liquitex. Do I have to, let's have a look what the instructions are. Seals the surface with a high gloss acrylic layer. Before varnishing, ensure paint is fully dry. Do not thin with water. Apply 2 to 3 coats, allowing at least 3 hours between coats. Well, I'll see what it's like with one coat. It doesn't say shake before use. But kind of, it's that sort of consistency that you feel like you have to shake before use. Doesn't say what the application is. Okay, so this has got a cover on the under the lid. Let's take that off. Oh, gold. And get the flipping tab up. Oh, there we go. Right. I'll take this off. Right. That there, out the way. Okay. So it's got a squirty. Let's see how it falls out. Right, I'm going to do it onto the brush like I did with the Mod Podge. Okay, it's quite liquid. Right, let's blob some on. Right, I'm just going to blob it around and then spread it. Okay. So again, this looks a bit sort of like the Mod Podge, where it's got that sort of bluish, lilacish tint to it. Oh, it's got a bit of a smell. Although, as you can tell, and I apologise, I am a bit sniffly at the moment, so it's probably a bit more pungent than it's coming across to me, actually. So I'm going to do a bit more. Right, I blobbed a bit more on. Still not very much on there, really. And there we go. Right, that obviously needs to dry. Oh, they all need to dry. Let's orientate it and zoom out again. Oops, that's in. Obviously, you can see immediately the difference is that the Tombow is clear straight away, whereas the Mod Podge and the Liquitex have got this sort of opaque-ish look. But I'm going to leave it now for at least 24 hours. And we'll come back and look at what the effect is once it's dried and how the different areas compare to this area that's not had anything put on it. So I'll leave it there for now, and we'll be back in at least 24 hours. See you in a second. Hi, okay, so it's been several days actually since I applied the coatings to this picture, and on the face of it, to be honest, I can't see any difference whatsoever. So if I try and do a little bit of a close-up for you, let's try and zoom in and see if my camera will deal with it. Okay, so this is the section where I didn't apply anything, and you can see the sparkle. Obviously it looks really nice and shiny, gorgeous. And then on the other side over here, this is where I applied the Tombow Aqua Liquid Glue. So that's this side. And you can see it's just as sparkly, I think, if you compare the two side by side. I can't see any difference. There is a difference in the pliability of the canvas. This is stiffer on this side. And then if we go down to the bottom here, this was the Mod Podge area. Again, I don't really think there's a lot of difference. You compare Mod Podge to non-Mod Podge. So this is not Mod Podge. This is Mod Podge. I can't really see a difference. The canvas feels, in terms of movement, you can move it, it's still pliable. So that was the Mod Podge in that section. And then on the final corner was the Liquitex that I've not come across before, not used. But again, I don't see a big difference between that and over here where there's nothing applied. So, to be honest, I think, and that's that, Liquitex. And again, I'd say that was, the canvas is still pliable, but it's stiffer than, obviously it's stiffer than without anything. But it's probably similar to the Mod Podge. And I think, if I just, zoom out, overall, if you look at all four sections of the photograph, of the picture together, I don't see that there's any difference. To be honest, I would probably avoid the Tombow just because it's, maybe it was the way I applied it. It's a bit more gloopy and blobby when you look close. Whereas these things didn't blob. The Liquitex did run, which was probably my fault because the surface that I put it on obviously wasn't totally 100% level, so it did actually run down. But you can't tell really that there was rivers down the side here, and that, again, that was probably my fault. But overall, I don't think there's any major issue. I think probably the Tombow would look better if I'd applied it with a brush rather than just the applicator from the container. And there was no discernible difference, I don't think, between brushing on with the Mod Podge brush or using that foam applicator that I used for the Liquitex. So there you go. I hope that was of some use to you. I think if you want to seal your pictures, your specials, my preference would be either the Liquitex or the Mod Podge, to be honest. And I'll put the prices of those on screen because price may be the deciding factor. So there you go. I hope that was of interest to you. If you did enjoy the video, please click like and share if you think it will be of value to anybody else. If you haven't already subscribed, please do click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you're notified when I do future videos. I very much appreciate each and every one of my subscribers, and I'm very glad that you are happy to have me come visit each time I produce a video. So thanks very much for that, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.